heart. It's honest living, for crying out loud. And you would allow anyone make you feel any less than who you are.
So to say, how you see yourself determines how others will see you.
Hello and welcome to the School of Life. My name is Chioma. I'm going to be media practitioner, public speaker, event compare, and of course, life coach. You can call me the statusquo disruptor. You know how I'm constantly talking about taking off time sometimes in life to evaluate where you are, to figure out what needs to change, what direction you need to be on. Yeah, well, I took that break very briefly for like a couple of weeks to sort of like reevaluate myself and to figure out, okay, where I want to be headed, you know, what direction I want to be headed in. So I'm going to share this with you because this is something that I recently had to chew on. Yes, I called myself to a meeting, sat myself down, and really had to have a heart-to-heart talk with myself. So this is coming from the heart, from me to you. Now, humans are relational beings, and you know this life is a school. We're learning on a daily. Okay, so as relational beings, we understand the fact that we are not islands. We must have networks, and we must build networks even deliberately on a daily basis, whether for your professional life or for your personal lives. You are constantly building relationships, you're constantly networking. But how do you figure out where each person needs to be in your life for every particular stage or point in time in your life? Now, this is very important. Whether you know it or not, there are three major circles of relationship in your life. The first one is the first circle. I like to call it the Holy of Holies. Now, in the Holy of Holies, or in your inner circle, what you have are very close friends, very close relationships, family, loved ones, people that you can be vulnerable before, people that you are naked and unashamed before, all right? The second circle I like to call the outer court circle, okay? Now here you find new friends, you equally find people you have known, friends or relationships you had for years, but you are not constantly in touch with. And the third circle is the outer court, where you have like 1,000, 2,000 people, depending on how social you are or how relational you are. So you have acquaintances, you find your acquaintances in that circle. Now, all of your relationships fall into one of these circles, and there's a flow that is constantly happening amongst the circles. People in the first circle moving to the second, people in the second moving to the first, people in the third moving to the second. There's always that flow, usually dependent on our interaction with people, our experiences with them. It now determines where we need to put them. Also, what phase are you in your life? Are you in a particular phase, a student phase, a career phase, a working phase, a marital phase? What phase are you? A parenting phase? What phase are you? The phase you're in usually would also determine where each person needs to be in your life at a particular point in time. Now realize this, that everyone that comes into your life is either coming to add or to take away. So it's important for you to figure out, is this person adding or is he taking away? If he's adding, on what level is he adding into my life, and in which area of my life is he adding that value? So it now determines where he needs to be or where she needs to be at that particular point in time. If you notice, I am extremely passionate about this. It's coming from my heart because of a certain thing that happened within my circle, within one of my circles. You know, a lot of times we sort of like open up so easily and we let people who are meant to be in the third circle move into the first circle. And when we do that, we find ourselves being hurt. And for you, wherever you are at this particular point in time, you're aspiring for another level, for another phase of your life. Now, to determine whether you get there, you have to make sure you have the right people within your circle, because there are people who come into your circle, especially your close-knit circle, and what they do is they bring in the wrong kind of energy, the energy that you don't need. They don't bring in positive energies. So at this point in time, I need to say this to you. Do not be afraid to say no. Do not be afraid to turn people down when you need to. Do not be afraid to say yes when you have to say yes, and no when you have to say no. What do you do to maintain your circle? Have a filtration system. All right? You need to have your principles. You need to have your values. You need to clearly state out your mission and your vision as a person, as an organization, and that determines where each person coming into your life falls in. Because if you don't have this at all in the first place, then you wouldn't know if this person is right for you or wrong for you and where they should be at this particular point in time in your life. So your relational life should have a gate, and that gate should be shut. Only open when you have to. Only open when you wish to, when you want to. Don't just have everyone going in and out of your life whenever they deem fit or whenever they deem necessary. So relationship is by choice and not by force. So if that relationship comes and you don't want it, say no, I'm sorry, I don't want it. Or you just nicely put them in the third circle. This has been the School of Life, and relationships cannot be taken out of life. So it's important that we address these issues as they arise on a daily. My name remains Chioma Agunobi, and please, it would mean the world to me if you kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chioma Agunobi, on YouTube. And of course, I'll be looking forward to also have you share your experiences with me as well, and with everyone who is following on my socials as well. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Chioma Agunobi 1. I'm waiting to hear from you. Till I see you next week. Bye-bye.